going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're replacing the start-stop switch on a Honda 2000i inverter. This is the one with the choke on here, and this is the on-off switch. This is also the gas switch. So if you ever having problems starting your engine, it's because this switch here is bad. Most of the time it's stuck inwards to the off position, so that's what we're going to be fixing on this today. I don't know if it's bad, but I'm pretty sure it is. So link in the description if you need one of these. They're like $30 from Amazon, and it is a genuine OEM Honda part. So again, this is the reason most of the time you can't start your Honda inverter. So we're going to get right into it. Sometimes this repair can be a pain because we have to dismantle a lot, but we will go over it as I go. So we're going to use a flathead to take off the first part. Then we have access to the carburetor here. Down here is where that switch is going to be. So now in order to get this off, we do have to pretty much dismantle this whole machine, but I'm going to walk you through it, so don't fret. It's a pretty simple procedure, but it's a pain. Because I wish we could just have access to this and get it off. I'm trying to see what all we need to take off. I've done this a few times. I've taken off these Hondas hundreds of times, but you know, it's rare that these switches go bad. So this is for the exhaust, the back plate. There's 4 Phillips right there. Put those aside, put the plate aside. Now, in order to get the frame off, we are going to need 2 10mm. This is missing a foot, too, so it's all wobbly. But there's also 2 Phillips, one on the top and one in here. We do not have to remove the spark plug holder, but we will, just to get it up out of our way. Now, from here, we need to get a 10mm. And there's going to be 2 holes down here, and most of the time there is a faceplate covering it. This one did not have one. So there's those 2 tins off. Now from here, we can go ahead and remove this Phillips right here. That should allow us to all but remove this plate here. We might have to take some stuff off the front. I'm never sure. You know, I always want to do the least amount of work possible. Save you time and money. But we'll come here. We'll remove a Phillips here. So we are going to go ahead. There's 2 Phillips in the front. We can remove those 2. That should allow us to pull this faceplate a little bit off while we reach in here and remove this side panel. It looks like this Phillips is holding it on. Oh, my whole bit came out. This is the one Phillips right here that is different. You notice how that is more threaded rather than machined. I don't know the difference. Horse thread rather than machine thread. Now from here you pull out the handle a little bit. Just bring this down. And now, voila, we have access to this part, which 2 Phillips down here. Put those aside because those are the first ones we're going to be putting back on. Now, it is held on by the fuel pump here. But if I can adjust this, we won't have to remove the fuel pump. We can just get right in there to where our switch is right there. So let me pull you down here and we'll get you. Okay, just bear with me. I'll show you how we remove this switch. First things first, we're going to disconnect it. It should be as simple as just pinching and pulling. And now the switch is disconnected, which you can see right there. Now that has 2 very, very tiny Phillips. My bit should be able to grab a hold of them and pull them off. 1 and 2. Now from here we'll remove this switch, take out the 2 bolts, and we're going to take a peek at the switch. I don't know, it doesn't seem to be bad in any way. We might throw a quick carb clean, but I'm pretty sure this switch is bad. So we are going to put the new one on anyways. And then the good thing about this machine is we couldn't put it back together, and we do not have to really remove anything again to look at the carburetor. It is a little easier once we have it in this position. But a matter of fact, I can just, as a quick test, throw these back in there. Hang on, I gotta move the camera so I can get my impact in there. Sweet Jesus. This is not wanting to work out. There we go. That's about time. Perfect. We can reconnect it. It has grooves that line up. And like I said, from here, what I can do is those 2 screws I set aside, I'm going to put back in real quick. Now from here, I'm going to put this faceplate back on. Doesn't have to be 100% back on. Not yet, at least. Just enough so it doesn't rip off while I try to start it up real quick. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it on the ground and try to start her. Okay, so let me do that real quick. So if it fires up, that's good. We know the switch was just bad. The eco throttle seems to be missing on this. Let's hook it up. So it was the switch, because I couldn't start it before. Now I started it. So now, off. Right back on. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now I just need to put it back together, and it should be perfect. Yep, that switch was bad. So, if you ever have a Honda inverter like that is not starting, more than likely it is because this is a faulty switch. This is more likely to cause on the 2000 EU than the actual like coil or any of that stuff. So if you don't have any spark, you can test this. I'll tell you real quick since you're here already. You can test this right off the bat. Just disconnect it, pull it. If it starts and runs, plug it back in. If it dies, that's your problem. That's how you test them. The only way to kill it though, if you do disconnect it and it does run, either plug it back in or remove the spark plug. So you can test this, pretty simple. And thank you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hope this helps.